Hey everybody, welcome everybody to our 5th podcast. Today we're going to talk about the 20 foods that would be found in my house. Hope you guys enjoy. It's real information, very basic. I hope that you guys can incorporate some of the foods that I bring into my house that help me achieve some of my goals. Hope you enjoy. Bon appetit. Today's podcast is brought to you from Gladiator Strength and Conditioning. Gladiator Strength and Conditioning is located on Bank Street, right inside the Tyrian Jiu-Jitsu, and they are a great place to go and train. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're a mom, or you're looking to get stronger, specifically in your deadlift, make sure to check them out. They are a great training facility, and honestly, there is a great atmosphere there of good people. Please make sure you go check him out on Instagram at Gladiator Strength and Conditioning, and make sure you do a like. He's got some great videos, good information, and if you're looking for a place to train in Ottawa South, definitely a place to go and check out.
So wait, who's Rosie Mac?
My dog,
You got a new dog?
Golden Doodle. Oh yeah.
How's that going so far?
So
Still
far,
like
so
having
good.
a new kid?
Not too bad. It's actually been a lot of fun.
Really?
It's already been a day and she's already knocking on the door to go poop outside.
She's not waking up in the middle of the night?
There's some.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. The first
little bit.
night we were kind of, her first night away from her home, we were kind of more lenient with her.
Mm-hmm.
This is what, day 2 or 3
Yeah.
with her. So, she slept. She maybe at about 1:30 last night in the morning. She was probably whining a little bit for about 20 minutes and then right back to bed.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
It's been.
Are
a
you
breeze
crate
so far.
training her, or is she just like on her own?
We're crate training her.
Yeah.
We're crate training her. So I don't know. It's some days we're suckers.
Mm-hmm.
Like she melts my heart. So
Yeah.
I just kind of sometimes I'm
She
like,
looks pretty
let's
cute.
take her, and she takes me. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So far so good. So we're happy. It's been a month without a dog in the house, and it was too creepy.
Yeah.
Right? So we put our first dog down last month, and so Cosmo, and then just couldn't. It was just
Weird.
The house didn't feel full.
Yeah.
As I said, I think I put a post on my Instagram. A house without a dog has had no soul. And
Yeah.
I never grew up with dogs, never knew anything about it, and then all of a sudden we had one,
Mm-hmm.
and within a month I was like, we have to go. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this
It's
one just
one.
kind of. This was just like a waiting of disguise. This had to happen. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was
That's
good.
awesome.
And so
What are we talking about today?
today is going to be a great episode because we are talking about foods that I have in my house at all times.
Okay.
I think that one of the big things that as a nutritionist, a lot of people always want to wonder what we eat. And it's, to be honest, not really anything fancy. A lot of people who always wonder, what does Harry eat?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my clients are always shocked that they find out that I eat some normal foods, but I like to share what we're actually eating because a lot of people think nutrition should be complicated.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's just really easy, good food.
Right.
And, one of my big beliefs is making sure that, everybody has the foods inside their house that can make the meals that are going to help them achieve their goal.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can practice giving people the opportunity to be able to find meals that they can make within 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
chances of them going backwards
Mm-hmm.
in their health or their goals is less of a chance because you now have prepped and have all of those nutrients that you need
Available to you.
available
right
at
there.
times.
Yeah.
And so if you continuously learn those new recipes that you can make within 20 minutes and you have 20 of them,
Mm-hmm.
it's so much easier because you're not going to go back to the old recipes
Mm-hmm.
that got you in the problems to begin with.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So let's start going through them.
Yeah. Let's do
Right.
it. Number
So,
one.
Number one, organic chicken drumsticks from Costco. I love them.
Why organic? What's your
My
why?
thing about organic is that because I want the bones after, so I always make them in the Instapot, right? And we know that chicken is one of the biggest users of antibiotics. So for me, it's reasonably, I think they're $1. They work out to about $1 a piece. So I don't mind spending a little bit extra on those organic chicken drumsticks. But on top of that, it's the flavor. I've tried all the drumsticks on the market. I've tried them from Costco to Walmart to Independent to Farm Boy. These ones honestly have the most amount of juiciness, flavor, and I just like to me and them, we just mix. And the good thing about them is because I make them in my Instapot, what I like to do is I'll put in 12, I'll put some spices in, and then I'll put them on for 30 minutes. I'll take out the meat. Then all that bone and collagen is still, all the collagen and some bone is left in there. I'll just chop up a whole bunch of vegetables, stir it up a little bit, add a little bit of hot water, maybe an onion, and then I put the cover back on and I turn it back on for 20 minutes and then I make a soup. I haven't even washed the container.
I've
just re-added. So all of that good bone juice and all the broth is still sitting there. So I kind of get 2 for 1. So I don't mind spending a little bit more money on the organic drumsticks. But to me, flavor profile is huge. And one of the big things is that because I have 2 girls, right? I have 7 and 9, Priya and Lily, and my wife, we find that they don't mind eating meat off a stick. So any time of the night, day, they can do whatever they want. We've taken the meat off the bone, made them like lettuce wraps, or we've just taken it off, put it on a sandwich for them, or sometimes we'll just put it on top of a salad. Or for me, I just like it because the juice of the meat, actually when mixed with rice and veggies, you don't need to add a sauce to it. It adds that extra flavor to it just by having the chicken legs.
Is there any quality loss between breast to not breast? Like, is there any reason?
I think there's not so much quality, but there is going to be extra calories, right? There's going to be a higher fat content with dark meat versus light meat. So if you are doing a specific kind of programming where you want to make sure that you're looking at your caloric intake, definitely want to make sure that you see which fits your calories or your macros. I just prefer it for flavor profile because it tastes good the next day. It tastes amazing fresh. It mixes well with rice. It can be utilized in many different formats. And to be honest, price point to meat in is very effective because I think for 12 to 14 drumsticks from Costco, I think they're about $15.
Wow.
So they're reasonable, and that's organic. So, you know, it just kind of fits our family for all the things that we're doing. And again, it's the pace of how fast you can cook them. So number one, always have, we probably go through, right now, I go through a package of 14 a day. In our house. So we eat a lot of them.
That's cool. All right, number 2.
Number 2, frozen berries. Absolute must. We have in our fridge right now, or in our freezer, sorry, we have frozen blueberries, frozen cherries, frozen strawberries, frozen berry mixed. I think we even have mango. I'm a big proponent of frozen fruit. You can buy it organic, right? So for me, because berries are one of the highest sprayed fruits out there, if I can give opportunity, if I can get something that's going to have the lowest amount of pesticides and they're going to be organic and they're in the freezer and they taste good, it's amazing. So for us, we'll always have organic blueberries and cherries. The ones that we use a lot are, again, Costco. They have Nature's Touch. I don't know what it is about these cherries and their blueberries.
They're touched by nature.
Oh, probably. If anybody who I've recommended to in our office has come back and said, Harry, how do you not eat the whole bag at once? Right. The flavor profile is amazing. And the one thing about berries that I like, especially frozen, is they're a great dessert. They can be thawed. They taste pretty decent. I don't eat them thawed. We just eat them frozen in our house at all times. But I do like the fact that they never go bad. They're always in stock. And so it becomes a routine in my week that I just rotate my berry. So we'll buy one type of berry every week, but then it just turns into we just buy them all at once. We started off rotating, but now we just have now we can barely close our freezer sometimes because there's so many frozen berries. So big fan of them. Remember, low sugar, hot, and it's a high volume food. So if you eat like 1 cup of blueberries, I think you're getting about 20 grams of carbohydrates. Well, 1 cup of blueberries, that's a lot of blueberries. So your volume is filling, and your total caloric intake is low, but your antioxidant high, and your fiber is good.
I was going to say the fiber is higher than like melon fruits, so it's better glycemic index too, right?
That's right. So glycemic response is much better, and let's face it, who doesn't like berries? You know, one of my favorite treats at night is berries, nuts, and a tablespoon of maple syrup. So I just think it's a nice mix, and they taste really good, right? So we'll always have frozen berries in our house.
Cool. Number 3.
Nuts. We'll always have some type of nut in our house. So for us, we'll rotate our nuts every week. Or I'll do what I call jar rotation. So anything from macadamia to pistachios, pecans, cashews. What we'll do is every time we buy 1 jar, then what happens is that we will then rotate it to another jar. So we'll never use the same jar twice. I won't buy pistachios, and eat the same nut for the whole year, nor will I buy mixed nuts, right? Because I always want to make sure that I'm eating a mono nut, because if I eat the same nut over and over and over again, that could cause some digestive issues, right? Because there's not enough repetition. And I find sometimes with nuts, people are pretty sensitive to them. Like in our house, me and my one daughter love them. My daughter and my other daughter and my wife, they don't even eat them in a day. Right. But so it's they just say it doesn't make their stomach feel the greatest. So the more we rotate, the better variety we get in our nuts. And that's just a good source of fats. Right. Good thing about nuts, you can throw them on a salad. I actually have a little dessert trick that sometimes I make with them, where I take pecans
Mm-hmm.
and I melt a little bit of ghee, tablespoon of maple syrup with some cinnamon. Oh, magic.
Yeah, that does sound good. What do you say to people who say like cashews are bad nuts, other nuts are superfoods, you should only eat certain kinds of nuts? Like,
I
where do
think
you stand on that?
I think the key is that you should find out which nut works with you first, right? Like there's some nuts with me I can feel a little bit of irritation, like almonds. I don't feel so hot after eating, so I don't eat those. But the good thing is there's so many varieties, right? So we have hemp seeds. Then we'll try macadamia. Then we try pistachios. I'm not a big believer in power foods. I'm a believer in variety of foods. So keep trying different foods. See how you feel after eating them and figure out which ones are more powerful for you. But in my opinion, there's no nut better than another nut. It's just make sure you rotate them all in because each nut has its own antioxidant and fatty acid profile. So just keep rotating your nuts. But make sure you rotate. It's a big thing. But nuts are always in our house.
Cool.
Right?
Number 4.
Ground meat. Big fan of ground meats. Again, when it comes to ground meats, I find that you can be very versatile with it, right? We can make a burger, right? So for me, I don't eat eggs, right? So I can make a burger for breakfast, no problem. I can make a meatball, right? So if I want to make a meatball or I want to make a chicken souvlaki or if I want to make a stir fry, I can just always throw ground meat. So one thing you'll always find in our house is no word of a lie. Probably every week we cook about 2 to 3 pounds of ground meat every week, whether it's turkey, chicken, beef, lamb. My neighbor just dropped off some moose. Moose is fantastic. So we'll have a whole variety of them because it gives us the opportunity to make a huge variety of different types of foods. So we never get sick of the same foods. Right? So we're making a burger one day, then we're making meatballs, then we're making a shish kebab. And for me, that's my breakfast. Right? Or meat muffins. Meat muffins. That's like a classic. You're in our private Facebook group. So, a lot of people make meat muffins and ground meat is so flexible for that. So if you're on the run, making a meat muffin can be a very, very useful tool. But we can probably put the recipe that we put for meat muffins in the show notes. So that way if people want to get access to them, we'll add them to it because that's a fan favorite in our office. Especially people who work shift, retail. It's something that you can grab and go. So definitely we always have ground meat in our house.
Cool. Next.
Number 6 is
Number 5.
Number 5, olive oil. Always have olive oil in the house. So again, olive oil, just my preferred oil of choice. There's numerous people who say don't cook with it. They don't like to use it in a pan because it kills off the antioxidants, not a cooking meat. I've read research on both, and I just go based on simplicity. I just go buy a really good olive oil, and I use that for everything, right? So unless I'm making a salad dressing, I do have a little better, like a refined olive oil that I find I just like the taste better when I'm making it, and it's got marinated with herbs in it. So there's a couple of places around the city of Ottawa that you can buy these refined oils, and I find that I just have that. But that's good for me because I can cook with it. Then if I'm making a salad dressing, I'll just add olive oil and some balsamic vinegar, and that's it. So I'll always have olive oil in the house. Pretty fanatical. My wife hates it. I'll always have 2 bottles.
I love olive oil.
There's nothing worse than making something and you run out. So if I run out of 1 and I'm back, I always buy 2. Because then I'm always ahead of the curve. Right?
What do you think about, is there any other oils that you use?
There's avocado oil that you can use. There's coconut oil that you can use. Those are probably the 3 that I like to rotate. We do have coconut oil at our house. Avocado oil, I'll buy the odd time. But to be honest, olive oil is still one of the oldest oils in the world. So sometimes I don't like to break or break something that's working. And 2, I like the taste. I feel good off of it. And it just works. Right. So I don't think there's always going to be a better oil that keeps coming out. Olive oil has been researched with the Mediterranean diet for many, many years, and it works. I don't have to overthink it. Right. And it's everywhere.
Number 6.
Spices. Oh yeah. I mean, you've seen me.
You like your spices.
I like my spices. So in our house, you'll probably find that I have about 6 to 7 different spices that I'm using all the time because that gives me the opportunity to change the variety of my food. So I'm pretty simple with my cooking, right? Like chicken legs, ground meats, maybe a lamb. I don't really like to rotate too many different types of foods. I like to rotate a lot of foods, but I don't rotate different cuts and stuff because it just comes down to speed during my week. And I find that just having spices really gives me the variety I need. So the one I'm hooked on right now, harissa. Harissa, right? That's the blend of me and my wife's name, Melissa with Harry. Harissa.
That's funny.
So that's our joke at home. Harissa, there's one that I use called Punjabi Tandoori Spice. right, which is just a dry rub. I've got one Mediterranean rubs. There's a couple of different companies that I do purchase. They're already done. They're all gluten-free. They're organic. They cost me about $8 to $12 for a container of spice.
Right.
But then I don't have to worry about using all these different, like making my own spice mixes. I just literally will open up my Instapot. I'll add in a little bit of water. I'll throw my chicken legs in. I'll put my Punjabi tandoori spice, lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, and some cilantro. I'll mix it up and I close it for 30 minutes and that's it. And I'll do that with every other spice that we have. And now I'm using masala. I'll use a jerk marinade or a jerk spice. I have right now Argentinian steak rub, which not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I'll always be rotating my spices in my pantry because we know spices have lots of antioxidants, lots of healing factors to them. And to me, they add a different flavor profile without having to change my cooking techniques, especially with my speed that I can cook at.
Right.
So we'll always have different ones in there. But definitely I'm a big fan of dry rubs. I'm not too much into marinades and adding them.
Right.
Maybe a little bit, but I just like spices because they're low-cal. We're not have to add too much to them, and they add a lot of flavor to it.
Cool. Number 7.
Garlic. Oh yeah, garlic snob. I'm very much known for that in the house.
Really,
Even my mom is shocked at
Do
me.
you go to Garlic Fest every year?
I don't go to Garlic Fest. I just have to make sure that it's very local.
Right.
I like to know that it's local. If it doesn't say Ontario or Canada on it, I won't buy it. Actually, last time I frequent Tremblant a lot, and we were there this summer, and I picked up something like I think 5 kilos of garlic in one shot. The smell. It's the smell and the flavor profile. When you get real garlic locally grown, you open it up and you start to tear, and you only need 1/3 of the amount. So for me, garlic always in the house, very good for antimicrobial. So it's very good for gut health. It's very good for immune system, but it's also a good spice that adds a lot of flavor for marinades and for meats or even vegetables. Like we'll just take olive oil, garlic, bok choy.
Right.
Perfect.
Right.
That's just a really fast dinner that's in our house all the time. So garlic can be a quick thing, or ginger. Some people like ginger. I'm not. Me and my wife aren't ginger people. We're more into the garlic flavor. So garlic will always be in our house at all times because you can do pretty much anything with it really fast.
Nice.
Okay.
Number 8.
Sushi rice and jasmine rice.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Have you tried sushi rice before?
I've never tried. That's the thing. I eat jasmine rice all the time. Actually, maybe basmati. I don't even remember which kind. But no, I don't think I've ever had sushi rice on its own.
Sushi rice is fantastic. It's sticky rice.
Right.
So if you're making salmon and you can make deconstructed sushi with it at home. I actually do my secret weapon recipe is I take 1-to-1. So 1 cup jasmine, 1 cup sushi rice, and I mix them together. Then I make my rice. It's great.
Interesting.
It's got sticky. It's got like a nice fluff to it.
Yeah.
But rice to me is, I'm Indian.
Yeah.
Right. I grew up on rice.
Yeah.
So if you ask me rice over potatoes, I'll always eat rice.
Right.
And because I'm eating my chicken legs, I find that the sauce kind of turns into a curry sauce.
Yeah.
So I just have to take a little bit of that collagen. My wife threw it out once. She threw out like the leftover like broth or collagen or the gelatin part of the leftover because I'd left the container and I took out all the meat, and she just kind of threw. I'm like, that's like the best part. I actually save it, and then when I'm warming up my rice at night, I'll just use a tablespoon of that, so then the rice doesn't stick to the pan because I don't have a microwave in my house. Right. So I'll just use that to kind of bring back the heat to the rice, and it doesn't stick to the pan. Then I throw my meat back in. It adds a ton of flavor. So sushi, jasmine rice, probably one of my favorite things to do. Always in the house. I'm just a rice guy or a potato guy.
So it's kind of like a controversial thing in the nutrition world where everyone's like, oh, you need brown rice, the higher fiber, it's not processed. Why do you recommend
Actually,
white
if you
rice?
look up centurions, people who live over 100, they actually eat white rice. My mom is a classic example of a person who ate white rice her whole life, and everybody thinks she looks very young. And I was always the one pushing for her to eat brown rice. But now when you start to go back and look at some of the information that's coming out, even things about like lectins and Dr. Gundry, and just looking at some of the basics of what the world is eating, the majority of the world eats white rice. So, and I never really liked brown rice. I only ate it because I don't
like it.
I don't like the taste. I don't like the flavor.
No.
But I love the taste of white and jasmine rice and sushi rice. But if you actually start to look through all the data, it's actually better for us to eat white rice. So I'm a big fan of it. Plus, now I haven't checked my facts on this, but apparently in terms of sprays, they spray a little bit more brown rice than they do white rice. Now, I haven't looked at, that's not guaranteed. I've heard that from 2 or 3 multiple sources.
Right.
I haven't researched into it yet.
Right.
But I just, again, for me, I try not to overthink things with my nutrition. I like white rice, jasmine rice. Is there anything wrong with me eating it? No. In fact, they're saying that people who are living to over 100 eat more white rice, more jasmine rice. Well, that's great. I like the taste of it, so I'm going to keep eating it. And it doesn't make me feel bad. It actually makes me feel better, right? I feel great. I find actually an interesting with carbohydrates is that if I eat rice during the day, better. If I eat potatoes, I feel a little bit more sluggish, maybe because it's a little bit heavier. So I just feel better with rice.
All right.
But sushi rice, if you haven't tried it, make sure you get the Londonberg. It's in a blue bag.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It mixes up good, and it's just a different flavor profile of rice.
Cool.
Okay.
Number 9.
Red potatoes. I'm not a big sweet potato fan.
Huh.
I like as in recommending them for rebuilding digestive tracts. Amazing. Me personally, I am not a fan of sweet potatoes.
Huh.
I'm a really huge fan of red potatoes. I can't tell you what it is. It's just the flavor profile. I have my actor fryer. I add my little bit of olive oil. I make my red potato French fries, and I'm just in love with them. Right?
Interesting.
So again, the big thing about potatoes that I love again, and I think that more families should eat them. I think they've gotten a bad rap. You know, if we just go back to like a common sense approach, people will say, oh, bread's healthy, but potatoes are bad. Tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Something processed versus something not.
What's in bread? No idea. What's in potato? Potato.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, but potatoes are bad for you. Really?
Yeah.
But potatoes, think about what you can do with a potato. Okay? In fact, in our recipe book, I think we have like 6 potato recipes that you can make with one type of potato. Right? So you could make a roasted potato. You could make a mashed potato. You could make a shepherd's pie. You could make French fries. You could make homemade potato chips. You could make I think we have a French Parisian style potato salad.
Right.
You could do a boiled potato. There's just so much variety of what you can do with a basic potato that I say to myself, of course, we're going to have them in our house. And the good thing is that we go to a store in Almont because I live out in Carleton Place, Dandelion, and they just actually finished expanding their store. It's a health food store, and I used to own one, so it kind of brings back memories.
Yeah.
But they have, they also have local red potatoes in stock. We buy them from there. Man, they're dirty.
Yeah.
You get into them, but the taste, the flavor, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I do like purple potatoes. I think they're called Japanese yams.
Okay.
I like those better than sweet potatoes. They're soft like a sweet potato, but when they cook in the actor fryer, they're crunchy like a white potato. Huh. So but they're hard to find. They're not as easy. But red potatoes definitely in our house at all times.
Cool. Number 10.
Romaine lettuce. Love these.
Even after the whole California thing?
I was still eating it. My wife got so mad at me.
Really?
She's like, what are you doing buying romaine lettuce? I'm like, I need it. It's a part of my system. You know what? Romaine lettuce to me should be in every family's home. Huh. And here's why. Think of the diversity you can make. Okay? So one, you can make a salad. One of my favorite salads is basically romaine lettuce cut up, tablespoon of olive oil, olives, strawberries, and a piece of protein. How can you beat that?
Why not one of the more popular greens like kale or something like that?
I'll have those too. But the problem is that romaine lettuce has more diversity. So one is I can make a salad. 2, I can make a taco. Like I can make a quick lettuce wrap very quickly. And 3, if I make a burger, what I do is I take the lettuce and I fold it into 2. I put the burger in it, and then I fold another one. I put the burger. So now I've got a burger. Right? So whereas with kale, I can't do that. Or with any other type of lettuce, I can't do that. So for me, it just comes down to flexibility, convenience, and time.
Yeah.
Right? So think, I go buy romaine lettuce. If I have an old chicken breast in my fridge that let's say it's a day old, well, at least I can just cut it up, throw it in a lettuce wrap, and make something. Or if I want to have a burger, because I'm craving a burger, I could just take the lettuce wrap and make it. Or if I have some ground meat, I can make a taco. So for me, it just comes down to flexibility of that. I can make 3 different types of meals for me, have a different flavor profile, because the one thing I don't want to get is palate fatigue.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think they're like, oh, you must eat pretty boring. No, I eat tons of different types of foods. And because I have created these different types of recipes that I can make with different types of food, all within one food, it makes it so easy for me because I can have so much flexibility. Right. So that's why big fan of romaine lettuce. They're nutritious, right? They're a green veggie. I mean, are there better ones? Sure. But hey, you know what? Sometimes when you don't feel like cooking and you've got a lettuce wrap there, you know, I'll just like double, triple wrap them and I'll get them into me.
Yeah.
Right. So super easy.
11.
Ooh, organic olives.
You like this one, eh?
Oh, I love these. I was recently in Tremblant again last year, and we went to the store there, and I always pick up olives, right, wherever we go, because we had a house there we rented it. We were staying up there for a couple weeks. So I picked up these Sardo, Sardo, the brand, organic olives. I've only been able to find them in Farm Boy, okay? The spicy ones, hands down, one of the best olives I've ever tried.
Interesting.
Even the staff here, we have bottles.
Yeah.
In the fridge here, and we eat them all the time.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
it's just something fast, right? If you're craving salt, really good little salty little treat. Lots of antioxidants in olives, right? It's got about 1.5 grams of fat for every 2 olives. So sometimes when I don't have any nuts and I need some fats to add to my meal, that's why I like add them to my salad.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can just take them, add a couple of olives in, perfect. Mixes up good, adds a little bit of spice to my flavor. Little bit of salt, especially at night for those people who have salt cravings, can be just a good little thing to kill that salt craving and move out and move on. It's also very good if you warm them up. If you take them and you warm them up and just have some mixed nuts, it can really crunch a craving, and they're super fast, right? So we'll always have organic olives, specifically those ones.
Nice.
Okay.
Number 12.
Cauliflower. Again, non-negotiable in our house. It doesn't matter the price. I will always have 2 to 4 heads of cauliflower in our house every week. Again, pure flexibility.
Yeah.
Right? 1, I can roast it. 2, I can eat it raw. 3, I can rice it. Right? 4, I can blend it, make it into a mashed potato if I'm using my potatoes. And so it gives me the opportunity, or I can steam it. Right? So it just gives tons of flexibility. I find that it's very neutral. I can add my spices to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a distinct taste other than it smells the next day. I will agree to that. But in terms of flexibility, again, super easy. Part of the cruciferous family. Very good for detoxification. High in fiber. High nutrient profile. And again, just pure flexibility. If I want to have a little bit of rice and I want to mix up and I want to rice the cauliflower, I can just mix it up with my rice. Add a little bit of coconut soy sauce. Add the chicken breast to it. Boom. I can eat that, or a chicken leg. I can eat that, giving me the opportunity to feel like I'm having rice, but I'm not. So again, flexibility, and my kids like it.
Right.
Right. A little bit of salt. Perfect.
Nice.
Love it.
Nice. 13.
Fennel.
Interesting.
Fennel. So fennel actually was one of the 2 foods that we recommended the most last year in the office of 2018, and we got the most feedback on was fennel and bok choy, right? Because we always want people to try new veggies. And the one thing I like about fennel and bok choy is that they're always in stock at the grocery store. Every time. So sometimes like asparagus the other day I think was $9. Well, at least fennel does. Fennel is about $2 to $5.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's not a lot of variety
Right.
in the pricing, so it doesn't variance. 2, it's always in stock, and 3, it's good 3 ways. You can roast it. You can make a soup. You can also eat it raw. Right? Raw. Like a lot of my clients who are Italian tell me they just cut up fennel, a little bit of olive oil and salt, and they eat it. But the good thing about fennel, very good for digestion.
Right.
And I find that if I'm making, for example, an asparagus mushroom, I'll just chop up a little bit of fennel and roast it all together, and it just adds a different kind of flavor profile to it. Right? So for us, we always have fennel because it's a good food for digestion. It's always in stock at the grocery store. It doesn't fluctuate in price, which keeps it very simple for us.
Nice.
And the kids will eat it.
Nice.
Right?
All right. Number 14.
Cilantro. You know that it's probably the one herb that people hate or love. I love cilantro.
Yeah, I like cilantro.
For me, cilantro is a must. Why? I can chop it up. Again, flexibility. I can put it when I'm making my chicken legs, throw it in. I can make a quick salsa, right? So in our Facebook group, we have like 5 or 6 different salsa recipes. Even an onion chopped up cilantro, a little bit of lemon juice can go a far way. And then you add a chicken to a lettuce wrap. You wrap that around, a little bit of mustard. It goes a far way in flavor profile.
Right.
Right? So for us, cilantro, always in the house. And the one thing that's interesting about cilantro is that it actually has research for chelating out heavy metals. Right? So like cilantro soup.
Right.
Right? So if you ever have a chance to make cilantro soup, it actually has been proven to make up a chelator for heavy metals. So a little bit of broth, some cilantro, boil it up, eat it. I just I love the profile of it. So cilantro is generally in our house every week.
Nice.
Okay?
15.
Bubbies horseradish.
Bubbies horseradish.
Bubbies horseradish. Fermented horseradish.
What is horseradish for the people who don't know?
Horseradish, interesting, is from a plant of horseradish.
Huh.
Right? Same family as mustard and wasabi. So, again, there's antioxidant properties because it's still a part of the cruciferous family.
Right.
Right? So it'll give you some antioxidants. But it's another flavor profile. So for me, I love chicken wings. So sometimes when I want to make a dip, I'll just take horseradish, throw it on the plate, and add it to it. Or let's say I'm making one of my burgers. I'll just take burgers, add a little bit of horseradish, mushrooms, some mustard, and Bubbies pickles, and I'll just add it a little bit of lettuce wrap to it, and it adds a little bit of spice. Now, the one thing about their horseradish is that it's strong, but not overbearing to the point where you can't handle it.
Right.
So for me, I like that flavor profile in my food, and it just works out well. So I'll always make sure that I have Bubbies horseradish. In fact, we actually sell it now at the office.
Oh, there you go.
We actually brought in Bubbies products because they're so good. The taste quality is there. They believe in their product. It's good quality. There's no added chemicals or ingredients. It's basically what it says, and they taste old school. They taste like the original flavors that they should be. So we brought them in just because
That's
I said,
awesome.
you know what? If I'm eating it, I got to share it with others.
Yeah. Cool.
Right?
16.
Bok choy.
Bok choy.
Again, bok choy, just another variety to eating spinach or kale.
Right.
The only problem I hate about bok choy, and it just takes so long to wash. Right. It takes more time to wash it than it does take to cook it. Right. It's very sandy.
Right.
But again, we go to Dandelion and in Almont, they have organic local bok choy. So we'll always pick it up from there. Super awesome. And the one thing I like about bok choy, again, it's part of the cruciferous family. So same thing as broccoli and cauliflower. And the good part is it cooks in minutes. Right. Again, a little bit of garlic or ginger, olive oil, just saute it, boom, it's done. It's a fast, easy food that you can make in bulk and will give you tons of good nutrients and fiber to keep you full, right? So you can kind of notice a trend with me. Everything's fast and simple and plain.
Realistic for lifestyle.
We'll add in salt. But the good thing is that there's lots of variety in all these foods, and you don't have to it doesn't have to be spinach and kale. It's like bok choy, arugula, watercress, lots of variety in our house.
Speaking of adding salt, number 17
is Himalayan salt. Right, so Gordon Ramsay always says, salt is the difference maker between good meal.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, I always add salt to all of my food. I don't go overboard.
Because that's a hot topic too. Is sodium? A lot of people don't understand sodium. What's your?
The thing for me is that the interesting part about sodium is that you do need some salt in your diet.
Yeah.
We're aware of that. And the problem that I have, it's the salt source that we're getting it from.
Right.
So for example, my client will say to me, Harry, I reduced all salt. But then they're eating a bag of chips or crackers at the end of the day, or when they feel like they have an urge for salt, they'll eat the worst salt possible.
Right.
Whereas what we've seen is that when we actually add salt to everybody's diet, so we say add a little bit of a pinch of salt to all of your meals, they say all of their salt cravings go away. So think, what's better, Himalayan salt on a chicken breast or a bag of potato chips?
Yeah.
So for me, I think that when we add a little bit of salt to all of our meals, you get rid of all of your salt cravings. The food tastes much better.
Right.
It's not bland. And again, it's you will be able to eat better quality food long term.
Right.
Because salt is a part of our diet. Don't go overboard, but I do like Himalayan sea salt, Celtic sea salt. I just bought one for my wife. It was this fancy salt because she likes different types of salts. So we're always using different types of salts in our house, but definitely Himalayan salt is always in our house. It's just this pink salt that we get. Again, adds more flavor to my food and I don't get bored.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
so big fan of Himalayan salt. If you don't got some in your house, make sure you have some.
18.
I don't mess around with ice cubes.
Ice cubes.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Well, in the office,
Not the wrapper.
I've got ice cubes here.
Yeah.
I've got ice cubes at the house. I've got 3 ice cube makers at my house.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cold drinks, cold water, cold protein shakes, cold BCAAs if I'm training, cold electrolytes.
Yeah.
Everything has to be super, super cold.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why.
Yeah. Nice.
It's just a personal thing, but I'll always have ice cubes at my house, even at the office. We used to have an ice cube maker here at the office, and then it broke. But yeah, always have ice cubes around me. Love cold water.
Speaking of water, 19.
You'll always find San Pellegrino or Montpellier in our house in terms of water. The reason is it's mineral water, right? So I love carbonated. And so I'll always make sure that I have carbonated water in the house because when I come home from work and I want something refreshing, and I just want to add a little bit of like lemon or some ice to it, I just find it super refreshing and it just a good little tonic to have at the house. So we'll go through a lot of them. Like my kids love them. My wife, we just think it's super refreshing to have in the house at all times. We don't drink like Perrier or anything like that. I do like the mineral water better because there is minerals added to it. So that way I'm going to just get some minerals added to my diet that way. So just a little thing that we always have now, San Pellegrino.
20.
20. I'll always have Enjoy Life Foods, dark chocolate chunks.
Enjoy Life Foods dark chocolate chunks.
This stuff's awesome.
Okay.
It's just awesome stuff. They're
Yeah,
found
yeah.
in the organic section.
Right.
And they're these dark chocolate chunks. Oh, yeah. That, again, sometimes I can add that to my dessert at night.
Yeah.
Like my little berries, a little bit of nuts. Or if I'm having nuts, I won't have the chocolate. If I'm not having nuts, I'll have a little bit of chocolate.
Right.
Just to add to it for some variety. Because I just find that those ones, I don't know what it is about that chocolate. Doesn't give me a headache. Doesn't give me anything. Doesn't give me any reactions. It tastes really good. But we try not to keep too much of it in the house because it can be dangerous.
Can go through it.
Oh, yeah. We can go through it. But we usually buy one bag a week.
Yeah.
We're very good about buying one. Sometimes my wife will buy two, depending on what time of the month it is in our house. But generally, we'll always have one bag, and then that's it. If that bag finishes between the four of us, it's done. We won't go buy another one, so that we do have some flexibility in the house that's there as well.
So if you call those things that are always there, what are some things that you maybe every once in a while, maybe it's like a craving kicker, or what are a couple things that you?
So some other things you'll probably always find: Zevia or La Croix.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, La Croix probably is really beating my heart right now over Zevia.
I love La Croix.
So which one's your favorite?
La Croix, for sure.
But
what flavor?
Yeah.
Cran raspberry, probably.
Ooh, I'm a peach pear.
I like peach pear. I find it like, I don't know, sometimes I want to punch. I find the other ones.
Yeah.
I went to the States.
Yeah.
Lemon lime. Blew my mind. There
Really?
was no way there wasn't sugar in it. Like, it tasted so good.
So, a La Croix, I will try to have like 2 or 3 a week. I just find, again, very flavorful. We have them in the office. Do you know what we got now in the office? Zevia energy drinks.
Oh, really?
We just got them in. So there would be that. There'll probably be some like gluten-free cracker in the house. There's always be probably a gluten-free pizza. My daughter loves pizza, and because she's allergic to eggs and she doesn't do well with gluten, Costco makes a really good gluten-free pizza. So we always have that in the house probably. Other ones, I always make sure in the house, I should add that, but it's not really, I don't use it every day though, or weekly, is I use a vegan mayo. Right? So I do like sometimes to, if I'm making a dip for my chicken wings and it's like my once a week meal where I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like, I'll take a little bit of horseradish and I'll mix that up with the vegan mayo just to kind of give me just a dip. Yeah. Or sometimes if I'm making a burger, right? And I'm like, you know what? Just a little bit of mayo on there would do well. So that's something I inherited from my mom. She likes her mayo. But because of the eggs in me, I just kind of switched over. But maybe a jar we go through 2 months, 2-3 months. So it's not something I use every day, right? But those would probably be things on a majority.
The 10%.
The 10%, there's probably some other things like we have gluten-free bread in the house.
Yeah.
Again, maybe once a month, me and my wife will be like, let's just make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Like make a sandwich. So I'll have a gluten-free sandwich. I'll put I'll put a chicken breast in there. We'll put some veggies. I'll make a salad to go with it. And then move on. I'm not just going to be like, let's just have a sandwich. So I'll have a salad with it. So sometimes it's just nice on a Sunday afternoon, right? We don't really feel like cooking. We just want something fast, and we'll do that. We'll do an open face sandwich, like 2 pieces of bread, 2 pieces of chicken, and a big salad to go with it, just to kind of break up our palate. Right. So, I'll try to bring in different things every month that's different from what I usually do. It's like turkey bacon you'll find in our house maybe once a month. You'll find gluten-free crackers in there for the kids in their lunch, but me and my wife might eat a little bit here and there. You might find what's another one that you might find in our house right now that I'm just trying to think through my pantry right now.
Well, let's go something people might be interested in. What do you do for alcohol? Like, are you a beer guy? Are you a wine guy?
There's
what do you?
3 drinks I'll drink.
Okay.
1 is tequila.
Okay.
2 is Negroni.
What is that?
Negroni is 1 ounce gin, 1 ounce vermouth, 1 ounce Campari.
Oh, okay.
Or Chablis, which is a specific type of white wine. Right? If you pretty much those, if I'm out and about and you see me drink, it'll probably be one of those. I enjoy them. I don't drink a lot. I think I maybe have probably 2 drinks a week. A month. Right. Sorry, a month. Maybe. Yeah. And I'll go months without one.
Yeah.
Too. So it's just more depends on my social setting.
Right.
But I don't mind having a drink. I just don't overdo it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So this is like real stuff we'll find in your pantry just every day.
Well, yeah. So we're gonna try to get you guys. Well, I'll probably take a picture.
Yeah.
Maybe I go home and take a picture.
Yeah.
And just so you guys can see what's in there.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a we've been talking about doing a video like coming and walking through MTV Crib style. We'll show what's in there. But sounds like
come
you're
see my
us a pretty
gym.
good idea.
Come see my dungeon.
Yeah.
And come see what's in my pantry and just it's just real food. I think that's the best thing I can ever say to anybody. It just don't overcomplicate your food, but the food that you do want to eat, make sure it's there because if you bring in the foods that you shouldn't be eating, you have to use your discipline every day to say no to it. Whereas if the structure is there and it's created, you don't need to waste your energy saying, no, I can't eat those chips, or no, I can't eat that. It's
Mm-hmm.
just don't bring them in, and then fulfill your fridge with all the good food that you want to help achieve your goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do want to have them, just go get them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been known to, like, I just want a bag of cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go get them on a Sunday, come home, eat that one bag, and that's it for like a month.
Yeah.
I won't eat them, but I won't have them in the house, so I'm thinking about them every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing. That's why me and my wife, it's taken us, this is 10 years. This isn't something that's happened overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But over the past 10 years, we've just got better and better at bringing all these good foods, bringing them in, making sure they're in the house so that we're protected from wanting to eat the other foods. And they also are fillers for the other ones that are, let's say, less calories, more antioxidants, and they make us feel better. So keep finding those different rotations of foods. I hope this helps. We'll get this all typed up as well.
Yeah.
So that way we'll put in the show notes. And then if you have any questions or you want to add more information to us and let us know what your favorite foods are, make some notes, make some comments. Let us know.
Absolutely. Cool.
Okay?
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Talk to you
Perfect.
later.
Sounds good.